Yeah, I can hear you.
We rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling. Guys, have you ever been con banned? I sure as hell haven't, but Gas here has been con banned on multiple occasions.
It ain't fun, especially when it ain't your fault. 2 of the occasions of the
right
8, 9 have ever been. 2 of them were not my fault, and the rest of them were totally my fault. And I want to apologize for the other ones that were my fault, because the people deserve every damn bit of it. I mean, I've been in combat for something as simple as saying fuck, and that's all I said. And boop, they just jumped right in. It's like, oh cool, it's like the demonetization. But when a company demonetizes or con bans you for something that's not your fault, there's a problem. And it has happened twice now. Both of which have happened when I've been asleep, and the Xbox one thing that was on the Xbox is that weird. I'm assuming it's something that they do, because, you know, like I said, unless you unplug that motherfucker, it runs all the time, and you just turn it on to play it. But, some dude, that we've interacted with in the past that I don't care for, but don't want to bother, must have pissed someone off playing Fallout, and this dude's known to, and I looked into this myself, against Microsoft telling me that, you know, I'm just getting a week of a ban for this reason. Not my fault again. When I looked into it, the dude messaged him and said some messaged this individual and said some very, 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 very sinister things. Something even William would never bother to do. William is twisted within his own right, but hunting humans twisted. This individual, basically what he has done is he's gotten permabanned from all Xbox accounts that he currently owns. So he, instead of making a new one and running that risk, he just finds someone else's shit and goes in and hacks into their, he hacks into their system for the Xbox app. I don't really know for sure how he does this, but he picks someone's account that's interacted with a victim, as we'll call them victims, and he'll send that person a very sinister message. So to the victim, who the fuck are you to tell me that? They don't even know that it's the same dude that messaged them hours before and was sick and fucking twisted to the point where he enjoys hunting humans and possible cannibalism. Well, apparently, you know, and like I said, I've interacted with the individual in question they got the messages. So Microsoft jumped in, just banned me. It was like, you know, a week, con ban, no big deal. But because I went in there and was like, I would like to know why, and they were like, no. They hung up the phone. So I did a couple poke taps on the system and looked it up myself through the app on my phone, through the YouTube, through the Xbox app, not YouTube, not the Xbox app. Plugged it in my phone, which was plugged into a computer. And I was kind of like, you're going to tell me that I don't have the right to know why I'm con banned. When again, I was asleep. The last time it happened, it was damn near 12 o'clock at night, and I would have been in REM sleep way before this incident happening. And again, Microsoft, for some reason, when they notice that they're wrong, they say, cool, we were wrong. You're still keeping that ban, though. They've done it to people on numerous occasions. Well, lo and behold, this time they're giving me a month of a ban, even though I, again, made sure to make notice that, hey, I was asleep. I sent them a lot of stuff. You know, I freaking record, with all like permission, record ourselves sleeping. Because at this point, you tell the company I was asleep, they say bullshit. But, well, it's not a porno. It's fucking hilarious how some of these companies I've sent to, they're like, I don't want to see your damn porno of you and your wife sleeping. So somewhere in some realm of existence, 2 people sleeping in front of a camera, just sleeping, is a equivalent of pornography. But again, they don't accept we were sleeping, even if we were. They kind of got mad at that. And then, I sent them who did it, and they said that they were gonna. They said that they raised it to a month, basically. My wife called, when I told Amber, she said, I'll call the lawyer. we plan on suing Microsoft for it because this is another dude. You searching a little bit of databases. He was once in trouble with the law about human hunting in like 2017, 16. For a watcher who he enjoyed that. There's a movie that even was made about these kind of expeditions, if you want to call them. He liked those so much he do one of his own. He got in trouble. He's out. He's doing this shit, and I'm just one of the conduits. So according to Microsoft, it doesn't matter if you sent it or not, is what their final jurisdiction is. It doesn't matter if you sent the message or not. The message happened on your account, so we're going to ban your account. And I'm going to take you to court.
Yeah.
And according to my lawyer, I've been talking with him a little bit before we get on the chat with you at all, Ron. I said there's enough damning evidence here to get Microsoft in a hell of a lot of trouble for exploiting their own rules and tweaking them for only in their favor. We're not going to remove your punishment because we found out you didn't actually do it is on the basis it's breaking some rules of legal procedures as a company. Hi, Alice. Alice is lying next to Tiger on the couch. It looks so cute. A little pink blob of an orange striped creature. But again, I wanted to tell people that if you know a con ban like this, remember it always could be worse. Microsoft is generous for con banning you, but I've been told that after 2 months, they give you anything bigger than 2 months, they just cut your shit off, and you have a white box or a black box that does nothing. But again, if it's not your fault, if you know it's not your fault, you should always get the proof to prove it's not your fault and make a vocal notice of it. But then if Microsoft don't listen, get a lawyer. If you can't afford a lawyer, get a lawyer that won't matter to be paid unless they win the court. That way at least you had made a visual point of it, because a lot of court rulings like that are public. Media's all over the place, when the word Microsoft and getting sued, make visual and audio notice that you ain't done nothing wrong. But don't lie either. It'll help your cause. I was asleep when this shit happened, and it's the second time this has happened, so. And the first time, the only way to fix it was to apologize for something we didn't do. And it was way worse than what was happening here. I wanted me to admit to murder and a few other things, but because they're individual this happens to. It's funny how people like my sister will say, "There's no such thing. You can't hack an Xbox." Yeah, and like you have this thing Call of Duty on the Xbox 360. Then you ain't never seen a modded server on TF, the first TF, Team Fortress. You ain't never seen a modded lobby in general.
Modern Warfare 2. One of the modded servers had slow-mo. And I remember that one specifically because we ran across one of those modded servers. Yeah, it was fun, but was it right? I don't think so.
It broke some rules. It broke some rules for its visual. I've been in a modded server. I was around a dude who liked to mod Call of Duty Transit. Gave me every gun in the game, including guns that didn't exist in Transit because they were cut. For obvious reasons. It was fun, but the jurisdiction still stands. They don't want to break or budge is probably the better word. Amber's not happening this time because the last time this happened, it was something shy of murder. They wanted us to admit that we sent the messages threatening to kill a lot of people, and then admit to murder to go to prison for it, and we wouldn't do it. And after like weeks and weeks of of court orders and paperwork, we appealed to what my lawyer calls it acknowledging the messages exist and acknowledging the possibility of that someone we know did it. Just sent the messages. He says technically you're still admitting to something you didn't do, but it's less damning than admitting to murder like they want. They wanted, basically, Microsoft wanted me and my wife to go to prison for the rest of our lives. No one was killed. Threats were thrown. We were just used. Again, when it's your fault, it's different, but when it ain't your fault, and you know it's not your fault, and you have proof it's not your fault, they don't care. They'll sit there and say, cool, you proved us wrong. Well, we're either going to up your punishment, or we're not going to take the one down because we see a fitting end. You know, there's been times where, and everyone's come across this kind of guy where it's like, it's not like send me a cuss word, but it's that one that messages you, and he's being an ass and he's harassing you, but the way he does it, it makes it almost impossible for you not to answer back. But the second you answer back, he reports you for harassment, and then you're the one getting banned while he's walking around doing it to other people. Again, later, he'll stop existing around people for a week or so, and you'll get like a 2-week con ban or something just for harassing an individual through chat. But it was him that was doing it, but all you had to do was answer him back. It's like, send me a cuss word so I can secretly report you for it, but for adults, because only children do that shit. Some people find it funny to watch people get in trouble for something they're doing. I think Microsoft allows that because some of that stuff still happens on their new Xbox One S systems. And I imagine if they release their new Xbox models, it'll happen there too. It doesn't, nothing changes about the team that runs their reports. They just read and go, this one's very dangerous, this one's sexist, this one's racist. Alice, please stop farting. You're disgusting. Get down. Get down. There you go. Nasty. You'd think she'd fart silently like most animals do. I don't know what her dealing is. But, they just read what it says. They don't care who it was sent from. They don't care for the possibility of you have a really dumbass cousin that likes to make gay, disgusting comments or racial slurs. Because, my cousin I mentioned before was racist. He was on social media popping off the N-word like crazy and said, if you don't like it, you can shoot yourself. And he got in trouble. He still thinks that he was done wrong. But he's been known to do that stuff. He's been known to get on your Microsoft account if he's related to you and do that too. Because he got punished somewhere else, he just steals your shit and does it. That's happened to me before as well. But not on Xbox. It's happened on other systems. I was banned from a PC game because of him doing that. So, it's not hard to do it. It's not hard. You could literally, I saw it on the internet recently, I tested that theory by bothering my own system. I made a fake bank account system, like software, and I ran this thing through it. You can go and get a free app right now that will run a endless coding unit till it finds the person's password and gets you into whatever it is. So in this case, I made a completely fake bank name. I made what looks like to this code as a real bank. I put like $2.8 trillion artificial dollars in it. And I ran this code through it. Like I'm a hacker now. And it took 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 2 seconds to get into the individual's bank account and wipe the thing clean. So it ain't hard to find someone's passwords out just by using your phone or something. I know he used a phone to do it. I traced that phone back to him. I called the police as well. But so even if Microsoft doesn't get in trouble, that dude will at least get in trouble because, again, he's probably been evading arrest or is on house arrest and probation for whatever. Because nowadays you could become a cannibalistic genocidal murderer and then and get sentenced to life in prison without parole, and after 2 church services later and pretend to prove that you're worthy, they'll let you out. They'll let you out of prison. And then legally they can't arrest you for killing people again. They have to find something else. And it's sickening to think of. But, if people actually change and they stay changed, I don't care what they did in the past. Again, I wasn't too fond with this individual. I would mention that got screwed, but I'm not going to sit here and actually, constantly bother him. Hell, I even tried to message one dude in the past that we didn't like because he was a dick and try to make amends with him. This is not the other one we mentioned in another video, by the way. This is the one that runs a Brotherhood of Steel group like he's a god, and everyone likes what he says. What he says happens. I even tried to talk to him about it, about how far it was probably getting bad. I wonder what he was how he felt about it. He wasn't friendly, but I tried. I left him alone after that because I didn't want to be a nuisance. And I don't want to be a nuisance to people like that. I mean, again, as a human being, I have no right to judge people, but other people will, judge us all the time. So the less unfriendly I am to people, but still being myself, the better I feel about my life when someone turns around and says, I don't like you talk too much. Cool story, bro. I'm not changing. Because me and you get along just fine.
Right.
Regardless of the issues. But I just wanted to mention that the fact that I had to do some other things to prove them wrong, and they're going to give me a month of punishment. Or so they say, but again, the way I got back into my system, it's probably going to get me a permanent ban. But, they weren't happy when I sent them the information that they weren't using, that they refused to use. They got mad. It was like a month done. In the story note, no takesy-backsies or whatever you want to call it. And I kind of feel like sometimes the company is very childish with their decisions. I did what any regular human being would do if they had the ability to do it. Especially in the scenario when I'm the one that's the victim in the way. Because again, I was asleep. It's pretty bad when you have to record you and your other sleeping to make sure that they understand that they're in the time frame. I have a timer of the recording in there, so you can go back and say, oh look, here's that frame where I was supposedly according to you guys doing that. What is that? Oh look, me and her are both in REM sleep. The only thing moving is the dog in the bed. And I'm pretty sure a dog can't type on a phone. They're like, oh, cool. I'll go give you a month now for trying to change our mind, is what they said. That was the word they used. So, court order. That's fine with me. I mean, it's not. I was trying to be friendly and teach, and I explained to them the truth. They don't want it. Again, it's the dev team we're talking about. This ain't no helpline bullshit. Helpline didn't care. Helpline sent me to a representative, and they didn't. Neither one of them gave a fuck. So I was like, okay, I'll just do as I please. And because of my intervention, I'm able to get back in my Xbox, even though I'm technically banned. But I don't care. I don't give a damn. Again, they still. The first time this happened, they wanted me to admit to murder. Do I even sound like the person that would want to kill the 600 people that were threatened at the same time?
No.
Yeah, the dude that did it threatened 600 people with a single message. Sent all of them a message saying something about, you bested me in a video game, I'm going to best you in life by taking yours, or some shit like that. He sent 600 people right there. And they're going to be like, oh, hey, you did it. But I was asleep at 12 o'clock, guys. Come on. I'm not admitting to murder, because I ain't done it. I will. See, I'm kind of against the idea of admitting to something I did not do. I don't care how bad or seemingly less bad it is. I won't do it. Because, and that's how fucked up the justice system can be sometimes. I don't know what the hell's wrong with some people. Come on, man, you're going to put you in prison for life. Just admit you did it so they won't throw you away forever. Why would I admit to something they're going to still punish me for? If basically what happens when you admit to certain things like that when you're playing an online game, if you do actually threaten someone and you get caught, you go to prison for a long time. But if you appeal, they'll still throw you in prison for the same amount of time, but you would get a chance of parole if you don't get a life sentence, as most people end up getting somewhere close to. If I had admitted to murder that day, I would have probably got 10, 20 years in prison. I would have never, ever seen Collie or any of them again. Actually, at the time, Collie and Jinx weren't here yet. It would have been Mars, Sabrina, and Kate. They would have been adults in their maybe 20s, because they were a little younger then, and they would have been stuck with Amber and Clover while they tried to explain to the kids that your dad didn't do anything wrong. The justice system is fucked. And you know exactly how Kate and them feel about people. That's the reasons why right there. They know that the humans will throw them in prison if something happens. They don't trust the justice system because they're hybrid. They don't fucking trust anybody, hardly. They'll respect the justice system, but if they get a hint that something's fucked up's about to happen, they're disobedient as fuck because they know if you let another human fuck with you, you're screwed. You're fucked. And they're not wrong. A lot of people are doing very bad things, and with their say lifestyles as a company, or what would you call a company, a group of people. There's always that one that's doing some stupid thing. It's like, what are you doing, man? I'm throwing away this dude in prison. He admitted to he appealed to murder. I'm gonna hang him from a tree. Lynching was a thing back then. Witches, black people, all that stuff happened. I'm not gonna lie and say it didn't, but what pisses me off the most is that shit didn't end at all when we fixed you can't kill people because they're a witch, and you can't kill them like that because they're black. Now the justice system's doing it, and it's, oh hey, appeal to say you committed the crime that we likely know you didn't do, and we won't give you life in prison, but we'll send you'll lose most of your life serving your sentence. That's their idea of the quote unquote justice system. It's sad because it's just like, what the fuck, guys? That's not how justice is supposed to work, especially when you know the person's not doing anything wrong. I mean, it's pretty bad. But your lawyer that's there to defend you strongly requests you admit to doing something you never, ever did, just to keep from getting life or a death sentence. Because basically you're getting in trouble for doing what they call the right thing. And that's what Microsoft loves to do. I really do believe they enjoy it. And it shouldn't have happened. But it does. It fucking does. Every day, someone's getting fucked for something they didn't do, IRL or even on Xbox. You gotta watch these fuckers, because they're in control of the games that we play, and the company itself could literally pay to have you disappear however they see fit. So if you ain't watching them motherfuckers, they'll send you off to your death, either metaphorically or physically, and it'll take way too long for them to catch it, because they'll just do that thing like they do the cartoons and shit I mentioned. So it's a lot of zeros. That happens in real life. That's a nod to a real life thing that happens with high rollers, like places like Apple or Microsoft, people that have enough money to say, hey, I want the keys to let all these bad people out of prison because I know what they'll sit there and do. But if you give me the keys and cooperate, you can have this check. The dude looks at the check. That's a lot of zeros. Sure, you can have it. This is definitely bigger of a reward for me than it is standing here watching the poor fucks. So I'm going to do it. And you can have the keys. Takes that check, he walks off, and he goes and catches that fucker, only to realize that either the company was fake as hell on it, or, dude, get my bike back. Fuck. NPCs, man. Okay, come on. Out you go. Come on. Out the car. There you go.
Oh. Okay.
Get out of here. Dude, fucker, I hit a car and the dude in the van was like, skirt, just tailgating me. I'm a sports bike and he was tailgating me. It's an NPC. I just opened his door and said, out you go, come on, I was trying to move my bike and he pushed the bike to the ground. But it scares me, Ron, because I enjoy sleeping when I actually am able to close my eyes and sleep.
Getting sleep.
Right.
But
it hurts when I wake up and find out that while I was doing so to survive as a human being, Microsoft gets the idea that I'm doing something wrong and punishes me. And I'm expected to say that I was the one that did it. My lawyer won't be doing that. My lawyer won't tell me that shit, especially when I give him enough literal information and proof that I didn't. He agrees with me fully. This is completely out of their jurisdiction. And this should not have happened. There's no excuse, is what he said. There's no excuse that they will have against this. Because they'll be fucked in the end. He said in the end it won't even matter. Because Microsoft will be the one who's to blame. Not anyone but themselves. They'll be blaming themselves when someone's losing their job and going to prison. That's what my lawyer's pushing for. He's pushing for someone in Microsoft of a higher power to lose their job for failing to do what you're supposed to do as a company. For accusing a client of things that he didn't do. For not being there and saying, hey, you're probably right there, little guy who enjoys our system. We'll make sure you didn't do it, but we'll make sure you're also not lying either. And thanks for the evidence, I didn't have to give him evidence proving that I was, innocent. But I guess for some reason, bug in my mouth. The bug. No. But I don't know what they think of when you give them the evidence and shit. Sometimes I question their mentality as a company because it's like it makes them angry that I'm able to do more work than they are. I guess. Like I don't really know anymore. But I'll say it before and I'll say it again. It's unacceptable.
It's uncalled for.
Right. That's why I'm still playing the shit that they banned me from playing because legally, they're out of line. That's why I think our game that we're kind of working on making slowly, when it comes out, will be a hell of a lot better than playing a Microsoft game and a fuck ton better than playing any other game known to man.
If not, that's fine. But
what?
Didn't we cancel that project because of Microsoft as well? Microsoft's Visual Studio that I had to download.
Oh yeah, I don't want anything to do with them. We halted it. I wouldn't say we stopped it, but I'll say we halted it.
Right.
Because again, there ain't no reason. I don't trust Microsoft getting hold of anything. If you have to download Microsoft, we'll find a different company. Because I don't trust them. I just don't trust that company.
But hell, even then.
Because it's a free system we're making, and having Microsoft's name slapped on any of it, again, put gun in mouth, cock it, and hope it's loaded. They're going to tell you how wrong you were for not doing this sooner, and they're going to take all your fucking money. They have the balls to say you were still wrong when you want your money, when you want your actual royalty cut of the thing you made. They're going to say, cool, here's $10. Well, we keep the other couple million that you made. You can get just a mere minimum of $10 because you're working for us. Again, big companies like Microsoft, they'll do that. How else do you think you get to pay $200 or around such to have the Microsoft Office stuff, Word, Excel, PowerPoint?
Yeah, that's stuff expensive.
They literally just give you the biggest fuck you there. You're paying them to own a system that was free for years before. Years. That tells me one thing. They're greedy.
Yeah, they're greedy.
They are greedy.
But if not a game, we're working on some other things like books.
Right.
And we're working on.
We still got our caravan for people who might
we
be
still got our caravan group
remotely interested.
For those who
you don't bite, so I think it'd be fun to attempt to join anyone who wants to.
And hell, if it comes down to us not playing video games at all, like you mentioned, if you sold, I would be fine if you sold your Xbox right now to start a life.
I do think about it sometimes because the shit that they pull. And then sit there and say, well, we don't care if it's not your fault, it's still your fault. That's what I hear.
As much as honestly. I hate to say it, I honestly think that your life would be a lot better off if you could get something else. Like having like an actual, like a job and other stuff, like you mentioned, if you sold your Xbox, you're full for it. But if that don't work, then, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Right. And I agree for the most part. It's just... I would like to know what the fuck goes on in their brain because, you know, here we are talking about it, but something makes me wonder what they think of when they see an issue like this. I really do a lot of times question their mental sanity as a company. It's really, really confusing, to be truly honest here. I'm going to wonder, and I think I'm going to wonder for a long time of what the actual fuck, guys. Because, seriously, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
It doesn't make any sense to me of how, as a company, you know, it doesn't make any sense. I really don't understand how someone could be like that and be like, oh, cool, it's your fault. Especially when that individual's giving you proof that they didn't do it. There's proof.
Yeah.
They said I could have faked that when they knew who I was talking about. The person's been banned before on many occasions for threatening people. But nah, it's totally going to be my fault. I'm not taking it. That's why I'm playing the Xbox right now. This account is technically banned. Am I going to apologize and turn it off? Nope. Because I'm not legally obligated to do so currently.
Right. And if you do something wrong, and they try to first offense.
If I do something wrong, I'll admit I did it wrong.
Right. No. What I mean is, like, if they think you do something wrong and they give you a first offense, there's nothing more shameful than going into an Xbox chat and hearing someone, yo, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can you speak? You have to make it, and a lot of people just get around this by making another account and speaking through that account anyway. So the fucking punishment was moot. It was pointless.
Sometimes I think Microsoft is scared of us. That's why.
Do not work.
think it scares the hell out of them because they make so many poor decisions. It's hilarious. It's fucking funny as hell. Like, in what hell did you think that would work, guys? Just going up and accusing an individual of something they didn't do. I would like to know what hell they thought that would work. Given that, especially because I had to go find out the answer myself. They wouldn't tell me why I was getting combat. They just tell me I was combat. The individual needs to know, especially if they did it, on the yes that they did it, they need to be, if they ask for it, they need to be given the reason. Because it's stupid to not. To sit there and tell them that we're not going to tell you what you did, but we're also not going to remove the punishment. It's like saying, hey, cool, your parents own a gun legally, but we're going to put you in trouble because the gun's in the house where you can reach it. So basically they're punishing you for using it, even if you didn't do anything with it. Just because you know your parents have the gun and didn't say anything about it, basically. It's basically the same thing. They're just punishing you for having the system and paying to have the system, and then when you get, you know how much you can look it up and do the math yourself, Brown Bike. Since I supposedly have a month of punishment, go look and see how much Xbox Live for a year costs.
Okay.
And figure those 365 in to the month punishment, how much money I just wasted because the company screwed me in a punishment for something I didn't do.
I could look up a month's payment because you can just buy Xbox Live Gold for a month.
Right. I buy it for a year though. But you'll see what I mean. You'll see how much shit I lost money-wise because they're sitting here just throwing off bans for whatever reason they feel necessary. None of it's legal, or it's technically legal, but again, when you're punishing an individual for something that they prove they didn't do, it's not legal. $10
of gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Now, do that for the 2 times it's happened. $10 of gameplay will do a hell of a lot more in the long run out of this motherfucker than it has with it. Again, mentioning that it's happened twice, and the first time almost cost me my freedom. I don't think I can make myself any more clear on how stupid this is. How dangerous it is just to have an Xbox. PlayStation players and PC players may not get punished when they play video games, but I guarantee you if you threaten someone in that game, they'll know if you did it. And they'll work to prove you did it. And they'll work with you to fix it if you didn't. Microsoft, no, you did it. And even if you didn't do it, you still did it. Have fun. That's like making a cake and then getting punished for wanting to eat a piece of said cake. You made 2 cakes, but if you touch either one of these cakes, the cake police is going to arrest you for wanting to eat the cake. Let's leave Microsoft right now for me. That's $10. If I had lost, you know what that would have gotten us? $10 would likely pay the copay for the medical bills that I usually have to pay when I go up and take one of the kids to a doctor's appointment that we scheduled a year earlier to happen the next year. That's how much money I pay on a copay when the insurance pays the rest. I pay a copay of $10. $10 will get you a hell of a lot of gum from this door. It's damn sure. $10 will get you a movie in some states and popcorn that's refillable endlessly in an endless soda container. $10 will get you a used game from GameStop that may or may not be your most played game. I mentioned before I owned Dragon Quest IX twice, one for me and Amber. Amber's cartridge was $10 at GameStop. It was used, but it was wiped, so it was like basically technically brand new because it had nothing in it from the old owner. $10 $10 could mean the world to a certain person who doesn't get money often. $10 is a godsend to a waitress. But here is Microsoft sitting here making you pay how much for a year? Let's look that up real quick. Given that their regular Microsoft services, not for the Xbox, are like $200 to $200, a 365-day Xbox Live Gold card, and you lose a month or more from that. You can lose, I mean, like I said, anything above 2 months, and they just permaban you.
So 1 year will cost $59.99.
All right, now go and figure in the fact that one day Microsoft just says, for some reason, while you may have been asleep, a dude took your account from you and decided to hack, steal, kidnap, and kill some people, and you wake up next morning permaban unknowingly, and you had just refreshed your Microsoft account. Permaban means you can't have your shit back, and you ain't getting a refund on that account. So you just lost $59 for it. That's $60. That's a little bit of tax that you lost because Microsoft thinks you did it. Even if they or you prove that you didn't do it, you lost all that money. That was a big waste of money. They just basically, in a nutshell, stole it from me because they felt like it. Because you ain't getting it back. You lose it. And they're going to tell you, hey, you shouldn't have done it. They're going to look you in the face and say, you're wrong. You see why Amber's suing? Because the possibility they're going to sit here and do that to us here soon. Just renew that card. And they're going to say we have a month. But again, given how what I had to go through to get the thing, you can imagine how worried I am right now. Given, again, what we had to go through to get my account back open so I could find out, for legal reasons, what happened. I guarantee my lawyer was to jump in and do that. He wouldn't have asked about it. He would have seized it from the company directly. So, it's just unacceptable. It really, truly, truly, truly is to see this happening. But again, Amber, the reason I said before, the reason why Amber's doing this is because she's afraid they're gonna tell us a month, and they're gonna take the rest of the year away the second they find out we're suing them. Because Amber knows about petty people doing that shit. She's had, pregnant teens come in with their parents, and the parents are threatening to sue the doctors because the doctors are getting ready to birth the baby that the girl had without the parents' permission. And Amber does not like people getting in her face and telling them that if you do your job, I'm going to sue you. But Amber knows that people will do that, and she don't like Microsoft right now, so she's not very happy. And I'm going to back her with whatever she chooses to do. Because at this point, Microsoft just, again, decides that, hey, you did something wrong. Whether you did it or not, we're going to take your money. Give us more money. Because you're wrong. Yeah. And I got nothing else to say for that. And, of course, I am leaving out of the legal procedures that I'm going to have to pay for. I mentioned that I won't have to pay a whole lot of money for the court order, but I'm having to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for the paperwork. So, thanks Microsoft for the headache you're causing me. I just woke up this morning. Thanks for punishing me for sleeping, Microsoft. Such great people working at the company to want to screw someone over for falling asleep. At this point, I'm going to say it's for falling asleep. Because they never do this shit when I'm awake. The worst shit that's ever happened to me always happens when I go to bed. And I'm getting tired of that because, again, I like getting to sleep and actually getting some sleep in. Which I did, mind you. I enjoyed that.
As I mentioned, I like you getting some sleep because this isn't supposed to be in any offense to you, because everyone's in a better mood when you get some extra sleep.
Like, if it went for this email that they sent me saying I was in trouble, I wouldn't have even I would have been in such a great mood all morning that I wouldn't even need coffee to wake up. When I got that email, I was actually downstairs making breakfast, and I was telling Clover, I feel great. I slept so good last night that I don't need coffee to wake me up. This is fast forward to when I'm trying to get into my Rockstar Social Club. Dear account name here, due to an incident regarding a time frame here and the threats that were sent by your account to account name here, your account will be hereby punished and by a con ban for a week. Thank you for your cooperation, Microsoft. And I yelled down the stairs, Kate, start up the fucking coffee maker. I've been drained of energy ever since. Just reading that fucker drain life from me. To think that they're really going to stoop that low is what I said. When I finally got to Clover, I said, I can't believe they're actually going to stoop that low. As human beings, they're going to stoop that low. And they are. They're doing it. But, again, joke's on you. I'm legally allowed to play this Xbox right now. My lawyer said if they throw any more fits, just call him. Don't make an aggressive push immediately to shut them up. Because they did me wrong. So I'm legally allowed to, like my Fallout character, I can play this thing. But if they get mad, like I said, just call me. They're breaking a law by some law that I didn't know existed, but does surprisingly exist for people like this. It's a fair action of that it basically prevents the company from doing what they're doing. And I don't think Microsoft understands how stupid it makes them look when this gets played off in court. They're going to feel so damn stupid when they get reminded that law exists. It's a regulation law to prevent game companies from gaining so much power that they just throw out punishments like fucking crazy. I thought it was kind of interesting because I didn't know it existed until the last time it happened. It wasn't mentioned then, but we kind of found out that information a little too late. But again, given their situation, LMFAO guys, y'all fucked yourselves. And I'm not going to apologize about it either.
I don't expect you to.
Well, yeah, but some people will be like, why can't you just take it and let it go? Because I didn't do it. It's different than saying I didn't do it and it turns out I did do it moment. Like real life movies kind of play off villains. Especially when they get caught and that evidence says they did it and they go, I didn't do it. But it's different when you actually didn't do it. And they still say you did it. I want to mention that as well. But it hurts my children to see humans fighting like this, because it really hurts their feelings. It makes Kate more antisocial. She goes into those bits of antisocialism. Sabrina hates people. If you get too close to her, she's not going to say, hey, what you doing there, friend? She's going to swipe those nails at you and hiss at you. The fact that she's done that to strangers recently because they got too close to me or Amber, just walking down the street or something, it makes her nervous. That's how bad she doesn't trust people right now. But again, after the shit that's happened, her almost losing her sister Kate to an angry person with a gun and other things that have been happening in this past, 2 years damn near, I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Serena's lethal when she's angry. I really don't know how to explain it any happier than that. She is not a safe creature to be around when she's not happy, especially because of a person she's not happy. Again, a wild cheetah in a public environment is pissed off for the safety of her family. Yeah, good luck there. Luckily, she ain't hurt nobody yet, and I've been able to calm her down, but I don't blame her for being worried. Again, to me, here, I just really, in the real thing, they make it look legit by punishing me for that. But really what's happening is, hey, guess, we know you've been craving an actual good sleep. We're going to punish you for going to sleep tonight. Again. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just stupid. It's unnecessary. And to me, and I'm going to forever say that, the only reason why this is happening is because I went to sleep. I don't care what they say otherwise. That's what's happened here. This is the second time they've done it, and the second time it's coincidentally been slapped in my face when I'm either getting up in that morning or being woke up because they emailed me at night. The one that happened at 12 o'clock, that fucker woke me up. Buzz. Yo, account ban, bitch. Bye. So that wasn't, an hour. So many hours I lost not getting to sleep. So, cool. Thanks, Microsoft. I think they just like making poor decisions. Or they don't learn from whatever mistakes they make. Because, again, this has happened to a lot of people in some different ways. The results vary. Of course, not everyone is having the same case as me where they're having to plan on suing the company because of the company's stupidity, but there are people every day that get banned in this game just for existing.
I want to mention that
if you have a broken microphone and didn't even know it, that's a con ban. That's a weak con ban right there. Just because your mic is staticking without your help, without your knowledge. If someone reported to me one day for my mic staticking for fuck even on a Twitch stream, that's a con ban, and I'm not going to get no say in it. Just think about that one for a minute, Bombay.
That one's really dumb. But I also wanted to mention, it doesn't help. It really doesn't fucking help that these messages were sent to someone who would have gladly fucked you over anyways. So it just gave him the opportunity to do so.
Right. But again, I'm not worried about it. I don't care if he wants to fuck me over. I don't think he's even touched his game since, I left with him. But of course he's been playing offline, so I don't, if that's the case. Again, I don't want to bother him. I don't care how much, I don't hate people a lot. I don't hate a specific individual, and it takes a fuck ton to make me want to hate a human being in general. I'm not mad at him. He just had a squabble that ended up doing the inevitable and leaving. I mean, that's completely understandable in my perspective. If we don't like a certain individual we hang out with, we leave them on our end. So, I mean, he's doing the same thing we're doing, just on a different level of what I would kind of venture to say is toxicity. But, again, I would never have ever messaged him back. And in fact, my account never showed up as interacting with him since the day I blocked him. He's stayed blocked. Just because I know that trying to make amends would probably somewhere piss him off. Because, understandably so. So, how, Microsoft? How the actual fuck?
Seriously. How the fuck did this happen, for one?
I wonder if I can get this Glendale in the regular gameplay. Sabrina had to get hers from Arena War. Does Glendale even exist in the non-Arena War sections? I wonder.
I don't think so. I think it's just specifically Arena War.
Yeah. Well, some of it is, like the Rat Truck. You can get the Rat Truck, same thing, clean version in the Southern Los Santos Customs. You get the Dominator and the Impaler there too, but you can get their Arena War variant, which means you can literally buy the real thing and then roll up.
Impaler is just the only way you could buy it in Arena War, because they start out with their standard vehicles anyway.
right? You don't even need them to play. That's my problem. But I got my impaler from Southern Los Santos Customs, actually. It's expensive as hell, and I painted it like blue, like a damn Hot Wheels car.
But I stopped. Guys, I stopped what I was originally going to be doing because I saw a distress in what was happening today. And I figured I'd just be here to help.
I'm glad you were here. I'm sorry that this issue had made you stop what you're doing to make a video. I am also sorry about that.
I was going to mention, once this video's over, I'm going to end this call and get to doing that to finish it off real quick. I'll do a few of my homework assignments just to get it done. But I am grateful to have helped you, and I am grateful to be here for you. But I do think I'm going to end this video off here if you have nothing left to say about this.
I don't have anything else to say besides thank you.
A lot has been said here, but I think this is pretty fucking damning on Xbox's part. This should have never even... The fact that the dude should not have been able to access your account to message him in any way, shape, or form.
And it's sad that I keep changing my passwords like they suggest, and it still happens.
Yeah,
That's what hurts me the most, is I'm having to change my account's password every time it happens, but it still happens. So that tells me there's no barriers of prevention once you change your password. I got nothing else to say besides thank you for being here.
Right. I'm grateful for being here this time around. But thank you guys for watching. If any of you sees this and wants to spread the word, go for it.
I'd rather them spread the word about our group. I'd rather people spread the word by joining the caravan or spreading the word for our little caravan group than any of that.
Right.
Because again, I believe this won't take, the court order won't take long.
The court order will solve that. But if you I just mean spread the word, as in spread the word of our channel.
Be careful who you chill with.
Right.
Right.
Spread our word.
Right.
Go for it. You already know what to do in order to do so. I'm not going to say it. Well, actually, you know what? I'll go ahead. Just share this video to people you know. Maybe they'll be interested.
Right.
You have a video talking about the group if you want, or if you're interested. There's a video down there talking about our group. I even labeled it that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, guys, I will see you in the next one.